The New York Giants just signed an athletic freak. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. This is Big Apple Sports. Tune in here every day for the latest Giants news, insights, analysis. If you're a fan of Giants football, this is the channel for you, so don't miss out. Take just a quick second, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Lots more Giant content coming. Season's almost here. We're going to be enjoying it together, so don't miss out. Now, this is always the time of year, roster cut downs happen. Giants cut down to 53, try to get some of the guys they really liked onto their practice squad. Some of them, like our guy Tommy Cutlets and Greg Dulcich, get signed elsewhere. They don't clear waivers, but then you get the Giants able to bring in some guys who other teams were hoping to clear waivers and sign to their practice squad. And the Giants yesterday signed 3 of them, and I'm going to highlight one of them and why I think he really could be a contributor to this team. So, looking at the guys they signed yesterday, they got linebacker Swayze Bowman, tight end Qadir Ismail, and safety Patrick McMorris. Now, Qadir Ismail, if the name sounds familiar, it is because he is the son of Qadir Ismail, who, not sure if you remember him from his time with the Ravens. Looking at some of his numbers, he had a couple 1,000-yard seasons, had 33 receiving touchdowns for his career. I believe, was it 01 was the year the Ravens beat the Giants in the Super Bowl. I hate to even bring that up, but I'm sure if you're old enough to remember that Super Bowl, you probably do remember Qadir Ismail. And then he's also the nephew of Rocket or Rahib Ismail, who was also, a couple 1,000-yard seasons, almost 30 touchdowns for his career. So, Qadir Ismail does have like a family legacy of NFL talent, and I think he's been kind of, a lot of times these, NFL legacies like your Arch Mannings or some of these other guys really get a lot of attention. But Qadir Ismail has taken a really unique path to get to where he's at, and I think that's kind of caused him to be relatively unknown. But I really think he has the potential to be a future contributor just based on his pure athleticism and size. So looking at, looking at his draft profile, he started his career at Villanova, and he was a quarterback. And they ended up deciding to move him to wide receiver. He ended up transferring to Samford and was kind of like a wide receiver / tight end there. And truthfully, he did pretty much nothing in his college career. I think he finished with 200 receiving yards at Samford. And some of it was, I think he had a thumb injury that kind of derailed his senior season. He went undrafted, and then the Ravens took a shot at him and added him to their training camp, and he was on their practice squad. And I think it's easy to say, the Ravens had Qadir Ismail. Maybe they were just giving his son a chance as a sign of respect to his dad, who was, a great player for the Ravens. But then you see the Raiders this year signed Qadir Ismail to their practice squad, and now you got the Giants worked out a ton of players, and they see something in Qadir Ismail. And I think a lot of times you see guys like him, he was working and developing as a quarterback. He was not working on his receiving skills. He was not working on his blocking skills. His first 2 years of college were a waste. He was out there trying to read defenses and decipher coverages and work on his arm strength and his accuracy. And, if he had had that time to be, developing his blocking technique and hitting the jugs machine and getting bigger, lifting weights, who knows where he would have been. And you just look at his raw size. Like it lists him as 6'7", 232 pounds. So he is a monster. And he ran at his pro day a 4.6940. Obviously, you compare that to, like I think what was Brock Bowers, like 4.4 to 4.5. Like, it's a little bit slower, but Brock Bowers is not 6'7". There are not many 6'7" people who are running a sub 4.740. Our guy Thomas Fidone, who I'm pretty high on and had a really good preseason, he's a little bit shorter, similar in weight, and he ran a 4.740 this year. And people were talking about how like he was raw, but was potentially, I think they listed him as the 7th most athletic tight end to come out of this class. And it was like an incredibly deep and athletic tight end class with Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. So like you see Fidone, great athlete. We've seen it in person with the great preseason he had. And you got Qadir Ismail is a little bit taller. And I mean, the difference between 4.69 and 4.7 is not much. But 6'7", running that kind of speed, like you are an athletic freak. And who knows what their plans are for him. Like, looking at Daniel Bellinger, his contract is going to expire after this year. I think a lot of people were surprised he even made the roster, so I can't imagine the Giants are going to be bringing him back and paying him a new contract. I think Manhurts, we all know, is just there to block. But like I could see next year Qadir Ismail maybe taking Daniel Bellinger's spot on the roster. And like how crazy of a goal line formation could you have if you have Theo Johnson, Thomas Fidone, and Qadir Ismail out there in a 3 tight end set, like giving the Giants with Cam Scadaboo, who you can't bring down. Like they can either power it up behind 3 tight ends with him, or you can drop Jackson Dart back to pass, and he's got 6'5" Thomas Fidone, 6'7" Qadir Ismail, Theo Johnson, who's big and the fastest of the 3 of them. Like, it gives you the ability to have both big bodies who can block and go up and get it, and it gives you guys who, like, you can disguise your offense better that way. So, who knows with Qadir Ismail? Maybe he's on the practice squad a year and we never hear from him, but 6'7", running that fast, like, he knows how to be a professional. He knows how to work. He's got it in his blood. He's got his dad and his uncle teaching him how to be a professional and how to be a receiver. Like, not many people are going to have 2 guys in their corner who have been like Pro Bowl caliber receivers in the NFL who can help refine his game and his route running. And like, who knows? Like, this could be something that 3-4 years from now, Qadir Ismail's tight end 1 on the Giants. Like, 6'7", 240. I don't care who you are. That's not easy to cover. So I'm excited for him. Giants fans, give me your takes. Any other guys you're interested in on the waiver wire and you think the Giants should target? And just any other hot takes from the preseason or predictions. I always love to hear from you guys. And then just don't forget, subscribe and like on your way out. It does me a huge solid. And got a lot more Giants content coming, so you don't want to miss out. We'll see you next time.